Welcome to my channel, and we are today going to continue with adding and retrieving image from SQL Compact Edition Part 2. In the Part 1 we saw that we can add an image and retrieve an image from SQL Compact Edition, and I also explained how you can set up the whole Compact Edition and all. So before we begin, if you are new to this, I would like to show you a quick demo. So view the server, not the solution explorer, the server explorer, where you can see you have your database in which you are going to add an image. So let's start first and let's add an image. So I'm going to say bb add an image, and I would say this is image and which is added. And now let me go back and let me check the data. BB is something which I have recently added and the number is 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to get the image by ID 12 and I get the image back. So this demo is working, which I have explained earlier. So how this is working, basically you can see is we are having a database, the compact database. How do you achieve it? You simply create a data connection and you add a connection, then you go to change. By default it is SQL Server, which is a big daddy, but right now we are dealing with the compact edition, so we choose this. Then it gives you two options: either you can create a database or you can browse if you have any. And I have the sample one, Northwind, so I'm gonna test connection and things are okay. It's cool. And then I'm gonna check the tables and I'm going to view the data, and yes, indeed it works fine. So we have the Northwind, the connection, the same way we have our own connection. Okay, and you can see how the table is designed. This table has an ID, which is an integer, which is an auto increment. Next is the image, which is stored into the binary formats, which is a binary data. Next is the title I have over here, right, which is I'm entering from here. So now let's focus on adding an image to the database, right? So once I jump into the code, you can see I have the name of that button is button 1 click, and it says open file dialog 1.show dialog. Okay, so what's the open file dialog? If you're not aware of that, I hope you can see this open file dialog. In the toolbox you can find the open file dialog. Where is it? Open, yes, this is it. You can simply drag the control over here, which gives you a facility. When you say show dialog, it gives you a prompt and that lets you choose the file, what file you want to choose. So I can say open dialog.show dialog, it gives me a prompt, please choose the file. Okay, now this is funny, I am not sure why I have added this thing. Next thing, once I have the file, I'll put the file into the image, which is nothing but system.drawing image. So I'll say image, get me an image from a file whichever I have just received while choosing the file. So I have an image in img. The next thing what I'm going to do is, once I have the image in the img, I'm going to put that image into a memory stream. Now why memory stream? Memory stream is nothing but a series of bytes, okay, and everything the image has is nothing but number of bytes. So what my plan is to put the img, the image which I have just received from this file, the dialog. I'm going to get that file, I'm going to put the whole content of that image which is in bytes, I'm going to put this into this memory stream. But how do I do that? And that is done using the img.save method. If you look at the save method, it says okay, you are going to save, but you need to save it into the stream. So this is a stream I'm saying, and this is the image format which we need to provide. So okay, now we have our data into the image stream. Image stream, I mean the memory stream, what I mean, right? The name is img memory stream. Generally memory stream holds up your binary data. Next thing, we need to access the memory stream, and in order to get the byte array, so what I do is img memory stream dot get buffer, which gives me a byte array back. Okay, so I need a byte array, but now the question is, why do I need a byte array back? Because it's a binary data and that we are going to add in the database, so that's why I need it. So I hope you got the steps. First point is you select the file, then you create an image control in which you get the file, then you use the save method and put the bar the byte content into the img memory stream, which is nothing but a memory stream. Then you access the memory stream and then you use the get buffer to get the binary data. Once you have that, then the things are pretty simple, because now we are going to do a simple SQL shitty stuff, and which is we are going to use the SQL Ce command. Now please remember, SQL Ce command, generally when we deal with the big daddy, it goes like SQL command, SQL connection, stuff like that. So when you normally working with this, you won't get a reference. So in order to add a reference, you need to add something like this. You need to add system.data.SQL Server.ce. You need to add a reference. So once you do that, the error from here will go away. Okay. Next thing, you need to write a query to insert into a table data, because now we are going to insert. And what are we inserting? Image and title. ID is auto increment, so we don't need to worry. So against img, I have a variable called as a parameterized variable called as my picture, and title as title. And this value I'm filling up over here as saying, okay, the value is going to be of type SQL DB type image, but the value I'm going to provide is a byte array, which I have just received over here, right? So same thing I'm going to pass here. And title is pretty simple. It's n varchar, and whatever title text you are receiving from here, okay, you're simply passing it in here. So once you do that, you open the connection, you fire the query and close the connection. Once you fire the query, the data goes into the database. If anything breaks between that, you get an exception and you can manage that, right? So once again, you got the idea. Open the file, get the data in the image, load the data into the stream, get the byte array, simply hit the byte array into the parameters and simply save the data. So this completes the add part. Now next is the retrieve part, where on the click of this, it tries to retrieve data from this ID. Okay, so it's pretty simple. So whatever value you can see over here, 1 till 12, I can put in any value over here, and then I query the database. Whoops, what just happened? 1 second. Okay, we have the data back. So this was the button click 2. This is a button click 2, and whatever value you pass in that value box, okay, that value will come here. So I'm querying to the database, hey, get me the data where ID is equal to whatever you passing in here, text value dot text, and I'm simply collecting over here. Okay, so these are my parameters. The moment I do that, okay, and oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to explain you about the connection. Connection is something which I have defined at the top level. It is a SQL CE connection, and this is my connection string. Now a lot of time people having trouble finding the connection string, and they manually do stuff. So no need to worry. Simply right click on the properties option, and you get the connection string right here. Simply copy this guy and paste it in here. You are guaranteed connected to your database, right? So back to the retrieving data. So as far as you can see that we have passing the ID over here, and based on that it will try to get a data for us. So I'm opening a connection over here. I'm using a SQL CE data reader and execute reader that will fire the query, and once I fire the query, and I will have the data in my reader. So I'll try to read, and it's an obvious thing when I say table data where ID is equal to something, so I'm gonna get only one row, right? So whatever row I'm getting, I know the name of that row is img, and I'm expecting the byte array out of it. Okay, so that's why I've done the typecasting, and I'm storing the data into the byte array. So this is how I'm getting the data from that specific column, right? So once I have the binary data, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a bitmap, which again needs a stream, and the stream should have the data which I'm feeding right here. So whatever data I'm getting from the database, I'm simply putting into the stream, and that stream fills the bitmap. Okay, and once the bitmap is filled, I'm simply attaching the bitmap to picturebox.image, which is right here. And once you do that, the image shows up, and you simply close the connection. Okay, so once again I'm firing the query, and I'm getting one row back. At the time of getting one row back, I know that image is nothing but a binary data, and I'm trying to convert that data into a byte array using the typecasting. And once I have the binary data, I'll feed the binary data to memory stream over here, and that memory stream fill up the bitmap with the byte array. And once the bitmap is filled, it will fill up the picture box, and once we do that, it works fine. Next thing, some people are worried that they need a code. So what I've done is I have pasted this code globally. You can open in any browser, and you need to remember this link so you will easily get this code, right? So it's pretty simple, nothing spectacular, right? So I hope that helps. And what else I need to cover? I guess I have covered everything. Important thing is adding a reference over here, trying to get the data from the database. The code is pretty simple. The same thing works at the SQL Server as well. The syntax is a bit here and there. Okay, so I hope this video helps you in some way. If it does, then guys, please subscribe to my channel and share this video with your friends, those who are in need. Thank you for watching. Good night and take care.